an open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings.
I think a new world order is emerging.
An inside job? How dare you? How dare you?
To create, so to say, mass-produced models of human beings arranged in some kind of a scientific caste system.
We shall go on to the end. We shall fight with growing confidence and growing strength in the air. We shall never surrender.
Good day, everybody. It's the 29th of March, 2014. This is UCY.tv with the Solvinur Event. How you doing, everybody? If you go to UCY.tv, mouse over shows, click on any of them, you will enter a chat room where you can meet with like-minded people, I guess, or at least people that have a more open mind than the average person. I'm making radio now, so don't bother me. That was somebody at the door I just shooed away. And, where was I? If you go to ucy.tv, mouse over shows, click on any of them, you end up in the chat room. That's right, that's where I was. And some have already done that, like Hecty and Joe, Mayor Ford, and Vince, and Akbar, and one unknown. How you doing, everybody? What's up? What's been on your minds lately? That's what I would like to know. What's on your minds, guys? Maybe we can set up some kind of communication here between the chat and me, or you can join me as far as I'm concerned. Send us a Skype contact request to Solvinur. That's SOLVINUR. And I'll get you on the radio. So how about that, huh? So, because I do have some stuff open. That I could get into. 2 PDFs. One from bureaucracy that we did last week. There's still a lot of stuff left, about 1/3 or so. And I have open Tragedy and Hope also. Interesting book. But since actually a long time now, I don't know exactly how long, but at least half a year or so, I've kind of had it with the whole alternative media clique, so to speak. And not because of personal difficulties or something with other people. No, just because I get mad, at everything. Yeah. The information that is presented is usually correct or has some truth to it. And there's a lot of rubbish out there also in the alternative media. Sometimes you wonder if you better not go back to the mainstream media. At least you know they are lying. So you know you have to pierce through some propaganda or whatever. But, yeah, Vince, I don't have a topic set yet. Alright, I was going to try and talk to you guys in the chat room. But if not, it's bureaucracy or tragedy and hope. So, that's it, Vince. But, like I said, I haven't been in the loop, so to speak. I don't know what has been going on, because I don't follow this stuff anymore. Because it just freaks me out. You know, it just gets me mad. So that's something I try to avoid. I've been doing stuff in the garden and playing some games and talking to other people in my neighborhood. But even that leads to unpleasant situations. Like, I avoided this one also. This was, I was doing shopping, and I hear people in the shop, and they were talking about the weather, like Dutch people do. And this one woman, she said, "Oh, we've had such beautiful weather this week. And it's a clear blue sky." And I turned around and I was gonna open my mouth, right? But, I didn't do so because I'm thinking like, okay, this is gonna end up so bad, you know, I'm just gonna, rage on this woman because she has eyes, but she doesn't see, right? I mean, how dare you claim that it's a clear blue sky? What the frack happened to your fracking memory? It's unbelievable. I remember clear blue skies, yeah, from before 2000. That's when we used to have clear blue skies. Now, it's a fracking muck. Also now, today, it's so mucky, it's like a mist. Right? But I'm crazy for saying that, you know? If I talk to people about that, they look at me like they've seen a ghost or something. So I don't know what's, I can't stand these people anymore. There's no possible way of communicating with these people. They're so ignorant, so small-minded, small consciousness, that it just makes me mad, as you can probably hear in my voice, you know? And so I also have a tendency to blame these people instead of the ones that are doing it to all of us. I blame them for not paying attention, for not asking questions, for being led like sheep. You know, you don't deserve any better, right? So, yeah, that's the reason why I don't follow stuff anymore. Yeah, if I do any kind of research, it's a course in logic or things like that. So, yeah, Akbar, ignorance is strength. That's from 1984. And it is. If you're ignorant, you can actually function in this mad reality. Right? It doesn't hurt you. You're strong. Right? Yeah. So ignorance is strength. If you're a sheep, that's right. Some Iota, welcome in the chat. She's referring to what I just said. No, Vince, but I can Skype you in if you want. Iota says, real clouds and real clear blue skies are rare these days. Indeed. Yeah, that's correct. The clouds have changed as well. I remember, for instance, sorry. I remember, for instance, when I was introduced to some old paintings from some Dutch painters, they used to paint clear blue skies and clouds also. And I looked at the sky, and as a child that was, because you can't do that nowadays anymore. And I noticed that, these clouds look exactly like how the old painters painted them. And the clear blue sky has the exact same clear blue color as on the painting. You know, it used to be, and this is for people that are quite young and have no recollection of what the sky used to look like. It used to be that if you had no clouds in the sky was blue, right? It was a brightish yellow, a brightish blue, a light blue, and the sun was like this blazing white disc. All right, you couldn't even look in the sun, so bright that it was. Nowadays, it's a muck. And you can actually look at the sun. That's ridiculous. It's been obscured by this stuff that's being sprayed in the air. What kind of reality are we living in, people? That you don't even notice that. Then now I'm referring to two kinds of realities. Not that they don't belong in the same one, but the one reality is that we let this happen, that this is happening, and the other reality is that people don't even notice the difference. Right? The one thing, when I was introduced to this topic, it was after I finished my 9/11 research, and I was thinking like, there have to be other people that have done the same research as I have, and I would like to compare notes, right? And so I started looking for ways of communication. Hey Dan, how you doing, buddy? And no, they don't, Dan. They don't notice. It's like they're sleeping. That's probably why they use that word. That people are asleep, right? That's probably why they use it, because their consciousness is so low that you might as well be asleep. That's, Iota says something that bothers me a lot. Iota, why don't you go in the Google and type in the word dictionary or definition, and then type in geoengineering and see what it says, and come back to me with your definition. And let's see what we can discuss about that, because it really bugs me, that word. I know what the definition is, but I want you to know it also. If you want to use words, and I know I'm an asshole when it comes to words, but if you want to express your thoughts to somebody, and you're talking about a new phenomena like this, make up your own words, and don't use words that have been put in front of you, like geoengineering. That's not a word that we came up with as truth seekers, you know? An example is 9/11 truth. That is a new word. What was the question, Iota says? Go to Google and type in definition or dictionary, and then your word, geoengineering. You're using the word, not me. Then let me know what you find. And I will see what we can discuss about that. Okay, says Iota. Awesome. So, to pick up where I left off, I was finished with my 9/11 research. I wanted to find some people who I could compare my notes with, because I still didn't get it at that point, the big picture. And because I was still confused, I was like, how can the United States be responsible for this? You don't do that, right? Okay, then you can see how naive I was at that point. You know, and shortly before that, I had never heard of a false flag operation. And so as that idea starts to dawn on me, I wanted to talk to other people because I'm thinking like there has to be more. I'm missing something, right? Hold on, I'm taking a drink. And so I end up in this chat room, and there they mention chemtrails. And I'm like, I had never seen that term before, and I asked, well, what are chemtrails? And the people started explaining to me, well, haven't you noticed that there's stripes in the sky that do not disappear anymore like they used to? And I started thinking, and I'm like, interesting, that's correct actually. Because I had noticed it myself, and I had, when it started, and this was around 1998, 1999, and I had talked to other, but so this is before 9/11, so I was quite asleep still then. And so I talked to other people about this, and I said, well, do you know why these stripes are not disappearing anymore like they used to? And people just shrugged their shoulders to me and said, well, I don't know. And I didn't have the understanding yet that there is a war upon us. Right? So I didn't think any bad things about it. I was just like, okay, this is something I cannot explain. And I left it at that. And so in this chat room, they gave me some links to these chemtrail sites. And I started doing my research into that topic. And I was like, okay, what's going on here? And I still don't know. You know, there's a lot of information about it, but how do you prove what has been put before you? IOTA still not returned with a definition? That's okay. So, yeah, it's not good though. I can assure you that these trails that don't disappear. I've had a woman on. I don't remember her name. You guys know how bad I am with names. I believe her name was Linda or something. And apparently she even has ties to the United Nations, where she is allowed to speak about this topic. And so it's probably even among governmental organizations, it's more known than you would think. There is even in an island in Greece where they banned it. You know, they say, well, this is not allowed here, people. You're not allowed to spray our skies. Alright? So they even banned it. Governmental organizations ban it. Like you ban GMO foods. Right? So it's being known, but not by enough people. Because it's still going on, day after day after day. We haven't had a clear blue sky here since 2000. I didn't see any clear blue skies. And when you think it might look like one, it's still mucky from the previous days. But anyway, this woman that I had on, she told me that according to measurements that have been made, and apparently passed on to her, that we have 20% less sunshine because of on the surface of the earth, because of these sprayings, right? my post. Oh, awesome. Yeah, well, I'm not going to do, probably, anyway, not going to do Trivium today. We could, but if you wanna. So what's up with Iota, guys? Is she lost? Any of you guys wanna do a search? Because I can do it for you, but I've already done this, Well, Dekan Akbar asks, how can you ban something that doesn't officially exist? Well, let me see if I can find it for you. Akbar, let me see, because this is long ago that this was. I'm opening Google right now, so if you're in the chat, just saying something to me. You have to hold on a minute. Let's see, Google. Now, Grecian government, or island, I should say. Grecian island bans chemtrails. Let's see what we get, right? Legislation, Long Island. Hey, this is interesting. Even over New York, guys. See? This is from Before It's News. Legislation to ban chemtrails over Long Island, New York is considered by Suffolk County Commission. See? It's getting through to governmental organizations, people. More than 100 wonderful people showed up to support the proposed legislation to ban geoengineering. And again, the word geoengineering. It has nothing to do with that, but once people come up with a proper definition for the word geoengineering, I'll explain to you why that is nonsense. Alright? Still, more than 100 wonderful people showed up to support the proposed legislation to ban geoengineering over Suffolk County, Long Island. The legislation was brought by Cindy and Jim Pikulas, Ban Siresi, with Long Island Skywatch.com. Yeah, Skywatch, that's a good one. I believe they are affiliated with California Skywatch. Right, that's where I got that lady from also. And yeah, that's her name, and with help from Rosalind Peterson, right? That's the woman I had on my radio. From agriculturedefensecoalition.org. Right? So this Rosalind Peterson, she knows a lot about this stuff. Big thanks to everyone who attended to the public hearing. County Legislator Ed Romaine and everyone at the Suffolk County Legislative Office who patiently listened to the impassioned pleading to stop the damaging aerosol operations. Now that's a good one. Alright? They are damaging aerosol operations. That's for sure. Okay? The public hearing is a critical first step and may be the role model for other regions in this country and around the planet. Yeah, well, you guys were not the first one because it's been done years ago in Greece somewhere. Alright? Alright, let's see if we can get back into the chat. See what I missed here. Still missing IOTA's definition. Ha! Nobody's coming up with a definition for geoengineering. What's up, guys? Just type it into Google. A definition or dictionary. Mike says, the campaign pilots and everyone associated with the program should be charged with murder. Yeah. Mike, are you even sure that these pilots know what they are doing? You know, they're probably just as asleep as everybody else is, you know? Would like to talk to them. Iota says, haven't decided on it yet. What do you mean, it? Yeah. Okay, here's one with somebody opened, pasted a link in from Wiki. Geoengineering, geological engineering, engineering, geology, or geotechnical engineering deals with the discovery, development, and production and use of subsurface earth resources, as well as the design and construction of earthworks. Geoengineering is the application of geosciences, where mechanics, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and geology are used to understand and shape our interaction with the earth. Geoengineers work in areas of mining, including surface and subsurface excavations, rock burst mitigation, sounds like lava, right? Energy, including hydraulic fracturing and drilling for exploration and production of water. Right? So geo means earth. You see, it's not only sky. Alright? Geo is earth. So that's why it includes things like fracking. You see? Blah blah. Okay. I'll make one myself. Here we go. Copy this. And then put that there. Definition. Paste. See, now we picked the Oxford Dictionary. Let's see, copy this. Put that in the chat. The deliberate, this is from Oxford Dictionaries, geoengineering. The deliberate large-scale manipulation of an environmental process that affects the Earth's climate in an attempt to counter-effect the effects of global warming. You see? Do you get my point now? Or do I have to spell it out even further? I hope not. So stop using terms that are just complete nonsense. Seriously. That's right, Joe. Climate engineering, an application of geoengineering, is the deliberate and large-scale intervention of Earth's climate system with the aim of reducing global warming. Interesting, right? You want to fall for this crap? Be my guest. Oh, the government is so concerned about you, and they're going to stop global warming for you now because they care about you so much, right? Iota, geo is earth. Alright? That's it's from Latin or Greek, I don't know. Think of geosynchronized with the satellites that are flying. And so it's not so new though. This geoengineering, not as far as I know anyway. It's not, this word doesn't exist only since chemtrails are there, you know. So let's just call them what they are, right? They're just, I don't think this has anything to do with reducing global warming. Alright, let's see who's in the chat that I missed. Ganja, welcome. Joe Friday, also welcome. And Dan, how you doing, buddy? You can join these people if you go to ucy.tv, mouse on over shows, and see what you can do. Click on any of them, and you end up in the chat room. So why doesn't this have anything to do with with global warming? Because this warming, well, first of all, we're still in the end of the last ice age. So that's first of all. We're talking thousands of years, not a couple of years. All right. So that's first point. Second of all, about this warming, when I was very young, says me, still considering myself young, but I remember snow in the winter. You know, almost every winter we had lots of snow, and we made fun. We had sleds, ice, skating, and so on and so on. That kinda started going less in the 70s and 80s, and it became even less frequent in the 90s. And now we don't have much snow anymore, period. Alright, so this warming, at least at this part of the world, and I'm guessing at other parts also, but I'm not sure about that. But this has been going on long before the spraying started. And since the spraying has started, it's not cooling down. Okay, it just isn't. It's getting warmer. Even small percentages though. We're not talking 6, 7, 8 or 9 or 10 degrees. No. Overall, we're still talking very small percentages that the temperature is getting higher. But the climate sure seems to have changed over the last couple of decades, even before there were chemtrails. So that is a natural process. Alright? That's normal. Things change. The weather changes. In Holland we say there's nothing as changeable as weather. We also say there's nothing as changeable as people. Okay? So, I'm glad to see that there are people like in Long Island, Suffolk County, that are starting to pay attention to this. It's good to see that this is getting through to official governmental organizations. It says here, I had the great pleasure the evening of December 6, 2011, that's long ago, to watch the Suffolk County Legislature at work in an effort to stop the aerial spraying of heavy metals like aluminium oxide, barium, sulfur, strontium, and more into the atmosphere. Okay, so what I want to know is, how do you know this stuff is in there? Right? Because if you say, like, for instance, well, we took some earth samples, and this was after spraying. Now you're getting into a fallacy we discussed last week. And therefore it has to be from the chemtrails. No, it doesn't. It could be from the Ruhrgebiet also. That's what we have here in the Netherlands, you know. We have this industrial area where chimneys are still spitting out all kinds of rubbish in the air. That's where it can come from too, you know, the stuff in the soil. So how do you know that this is in the chemtrails? You'd have to fly behind one of those planes, get straight into the chemtrail, then take a sample. Has anybody ever done that? Do you have any proof that anybody has ever done that? So I want to know, how do you know this stuff comes from there? First of all, I'm not saying it's not true. It's probably true. But I can't accept these as facts yet. It's probably some stuff in the air that, makes these trails not disappear anymore. Sure. And it's probably not good either. Alright, so, such as aluminium oxide, barium, sulfur, strontium, and more into the atmosphere, visible as what we know as chemtrails. This was a hearing on a proposal to ban aerial spraying over the county, which, without first filling an environmental impact statement with the county's Department of Health Services. It would be interesting also to find out how you're going to stop this, right? How do you identify an airplane that sprays chemicals in the air and stop it from going off in the air? Where do these airplanes start from? Do they start from Amsterdam? Normal airport? Or do they come from military airports? Right? Because I've tried to find pictures also, and I've stopped doing the research, but this was when I did that, years ago. And you get these pictures of these planes, but you can't tell what kind of planes they are. They seem just white. They seem grayish. You can't see any markings on them, because the pictures aren't good enough to be able to tell that. Okay, one person in this article says, I had never heard of chemtrails before last Wednesday when one of my friends told me about the meeting and offered to drive me there. My friend loves conspiracy theories though, so I rolled my eyes and indulgently went to the website he suggested. Typical response, right? They intrigued me, however, so I called him back and took him up on the offer. And so she went to that meeting and finally got it from some official source, and then it's acceptable to them, right? If it's on the news, or if some politician says it, then they believe it. But if you come with arguments, then you're a nutcase, right? Then you're a conspiracy theorist. Freaks me out also, gets me mad a lot also. Blah, blah. Yeah. That's what I heard also, Dan. And probably what's going to happen, Dan, is that this will be what the mainstream media is going to come out with. And Ganja makes a very important point here. Says, sun is the main boss. Exactly. That's the whole point. The sun is the boss. Dan 10 EC, I believe it says, solar radiation management projects are a type of climate engineering which seek to reflect sunlight and thus reduce global warming. See? This is probably what the mainstream media is going to have to come out with, because they can no longer deny that this is going on. Right? I'm telling you it's nonsense though. Proposed examples include the creation of stratospheric sulfate aerosols. Why is it nonsense? Because global warming is a scam, right? They would not reduce greenhouse gas concentrations in the atmosphere, and thus do not address problems such as ocean acidification caused by these gases. Their principal advantage as an approach to climate engineering is the speed with which they can be deployed and become fully active, as well as their low financial cost. Alright? Yeah. Well, I'm glad it's warm. It helps us produce food, guys. Especially the CO2, of which there is only a very, 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 very small percentage in the air. And therefore is probably not responsible for any major changes in our climate, because there's only a very small amount of it, and we breathe it out. You know, it's not enormously toxic like a carbon monoxide is, right? That's more toxic to you as human than carbon dioxide. So, but carbon dioxide is used by plants to grow. They need it. If you give a plant zero carbon dioxide, it's gonna die. And so we need it. You know, we also need the heat from the sun. Otherwise the plants will not grow. They need the light from the sun. Otherwise the plants will not grow. And if the plants don't grow, we don't get food. Right? So I'm glad we don't live in an ice age. Moon is mentioned here. It says, Ganja says, moon is a mirror. Yeah, well, the light you see from the moon is originally from the sun. Yeah, so that's true. Akbar asks a strange question. And who does sun gets its order from? So, excuse me? The sun is the boss, yeah. Sun and moon. Yeah, they both seem to have a big influence on the earth. And think of ebb and flow, for instance. Alright. Well, I think we've had enough about this topic. For now. So, let's see. If you want to join, you can do that. Send me a Skype contact request. Or if you're already in if you have Solvinur, Solvinur already in Skype, just type me and I'll get you on air. If not, send me a contact request and I'll accept your contact request. Also for questions or something, you can also email me at solvinur2@yahoo.com. Dan says there was more carbon dioxide in the air during the last ice age than there is now. That's probably correct. I've heard so-called scientists speak about this, and they're talking millions and millions of years ago. The CO2 percentage was even above 1. All right, we're talking 0.0038% now, I think. So, you know, if it's above 1, that's so much more, right? And so much better for the plants. They can grow much better if there's more CO2 in the air, you see? So CO2 is not responsible for global warming, for the fake that global warming is. You know why they try and make you think that? Because they want to put us down, our industries. They want to put them down because the industries, they create CO2, you see? comes out of your car, and so on and so on. And they want to get you out of your car. They want to stop you from using so much energy. That's why they say CO2 is responsible for, quote-unquote, destroying the earth. I think people that say that you're destroying the earth are rather arrogant to think that you can even do such a thing. This earth has been around for 4 billion years and has suffered so much more than we could ever inflict, and it's still here, isn't it? And the life forms just keep growing more and more sophisticated, don't they? So that's rather arrogant to think that we have such an impact on the earth. You would think Jupiter being so big would have some effect also. Yeah, Joe, they do actually. Especially the magnetic fields that these big planets have. They reach so far that we are engulfed in them. Now, I don't know exactly what the effect of that is, but we're surrounded by magnetic fields of the Sun and other planets. So, that's exactly why that is, Ganja says he's talking about carbon tax. See? So through this global warming nonsense, they want to stop you using energy so that we put less carbon in the air. That's how they're trying to reduce our industries. And I totally disagree with that. I think we should get more industry. That's what technology is supposed to do for us. Make life easier for humans. All right. We've got 1 hour and 12 minutes left or so. So let's see if we can finish some of this stuff from bureaucracy. This is called rationality and reality. That's where we left off last week, right? I'm going to do small recap, again, saying it again. But this is about where we left off. Rationality, the ability to think clearly, right? That's where the trivium comes in. Grammar, logic, rhetoric. If you're thinking clearly, that means that you've removed the contradiction using the logic on the grammar. Alright? So first you gather the grammar, then, which are your building blocks, then you use your logic to remove inconsistencies and contradictions. That's why I'm stressing on words so much. We were talking before the radio started. I was talking to some people in the chat, and apparently Bruce Lee also mentioned this. He said, "Don't mistake the finger that points at the moon for the moon," something like that. It's same idea as, say, an old philosopher said. The map is not the territory. Right? There, in the map being the words, the language, and the territory being reality, you see? So, I agree with that. However, I agree more with the ancient philosopher that was called the Silent, that said, if words do not tie to reality, you might as well shut up. Right? So if you're speaking, but it has no relation to reality at all, you might as well shut up. And I totally agree with that. That's interesting, Iota. So that's how you feel it burning on your skin, right? Because the sun is a cold planet. You're solar physicist. Quote unquote cold planet. Yeah. That's why you feel it burning on your skin, even 8 light minutes away, right? Now I'll say something about the sun which is interesting, and which these scientists and physicists should have an explanation for, but they don't, because they have no understanding. They are taking measurements of the temperature of the sun, and they say, it's not me saying this, it's these scientists that are claiming this, that in the center of the sun, it is millions and millions of degrees hot. Alright? And then at the surface of the sun, it's only 5,000 degrees. That's interesting, right? Ah, now Dan says 10,000 on the surface. Okay, well let's check this. Oh, okay, that's what we got Google for, right? Sun surface temperature. Oh, wait a minute. We've got to put this in right. Blah, 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 blah. Sun surface temperature. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see what we get. 5,500 says Wiki. Alright. And then another one at Cool Cosmic, it says 10,000. So you see, they don't even agree with each other. Let's see what NASA has to say. Talk about contradictions, right? Our solar system's central star, the sun, has inspired mythical stories and cultures around the world. Yeah, no kidding. Most of it is about the sun. All these mythological stories. Alright? Even Jesus, the sun. It's with a U, not an O, people. What do you think those 12 people are for in this famous painting where he is in the middle? Those are the 12 signs in which the sun travels with a U. Alright? Our solar system central star, the sun, has inspired mythological stories and cultures around the world, including those of the ancient Egyptians, the Aztecs of Mexico, Native American tribes, North America and Canada, the Chinese and many others. Yeah, like India. It's full of sun mythology there. A number of ancient cultures built stone structures or modified natural rock formations to mark the motions of the sun and moon. Yeah. They charted the seasons. Yeah, that's interesting. Some of this even goes so far, and this is interesting because it looks like contradiction, but they even knew about the 26,000 year cycle the sun is going through. So how did they know that? Did they measure that just by measuring a few hundred years? And how accurate was their measurement then? That's interesting, see? Created calendars and monitored solar and lunar eclipses. These architectural sites show evidence of deliberate alignments through astronomical phenomena, sunrises, moonrises, moonsets, even stars or planets. Yeah, that's correct. Many cultures believed that the Earth was immovable and the Sun, other planets and stars revolve about it. No, well, maybe, but I think that's a hoax. I think that is the occulted information, because they knew damn well that the Earth was revolving around the Sun. Especially in India they knew that. They have maps, and they make 2 maps. One, and with the sun revolves around the Earth, because that's how we see it, and one where the Earth revolves around the Sun, because that's what's really happening, you see? They explained it in two ways. More than 5,000 years ago they knew this. Ancient Greek astronomers and philosophers knew this geocentric concept from early as 6th century BCE. Yeah? And going even further, they knew it 5,000 years ago, in both cases. Now we know, of course, that all planets orbit the Sun. Yeah, no kidding. The Sun is closest star to the Earth. Yes, it's 8 light minutes away. And a light minute is the distance the light takes. A light minute, yeah, is a distance, not a time. Alright? It's the distance the light travels within a minute. The distance from our planet at so many million kilometers, right? Better put that in light minutes. It's better understandable. This distance is also known as an astronomical unit. All right. Now we're gonna get because we were looking about. We were trying to find the temperature here. At the core, the temperature is about 15 million degrees, about 27 million degrees Fahrenheit. So that's the difference. Where you get the difference from, probably, Joe. The one is Fahrenheit and the other is Celsius. Alright, it's 5,000 degrees Celsius. I don't know if that's 10,000 Fahrenheit, because I don't have these skills. So, at the core, it's 15 million degrees Celsius, which is sufficient to sustain thermonuclear fusion, which is probably what is going on at the center of the Sun. How do they know that? Because they can split up the light that is emanating from the Sun, then determine what the elements are, and make the observation that there is helium there, and these helium, they stand under so much pressure that they fuse together, right? So say that hydrogen is pressed together to make helium, I think. Yeah, figure that out, guys. It's the first atom on our list, hydrogen, and these get pressed together, creating a thermonuclear fusion. The energy produced in the core powers the Sun and produces essentially the heat and light we receive on Earth. Energy from the core is carried outward by radiation, which bounces around the radiative zone, taking about 170,000 years to get from the core to the convective zone. Yeah? That's correct. At least that's what they say. They say that a photon in the Sun can travel there a long, long time before it leaves the Sun. The surface, the photosphere, is a 500 kilometers thick region from which most of the Sun's radiation escapes outwards and is detected as the sunlight we observe here on Earth about 8 minutes after it leaves the Sun. Temperatures on the photosphere is about 5,500 degrees Celsius. Now that is low, okay, compared to the temperature inside. That is cold, so to speak. Alright, let's get back to the chat then. Yeah, Joe, that's my point. That's why I'm saying that it sounds like a contradiction. That 26,000 year cycle. They knew about that. But then we were supposed to believe that we lived in caves back then, right? I have a lot of trouble with that idea. That we only came out crawling out of our caves like 6,000 years ago. If that is true, how do they know so much about the Sun? You see? So it seems like a contradiction. Ganja says they found a city under the ocean of East Coast India. Could be 30,000 years old. Yeah, is that Indrapaya? Or what is it? That's interesting, Ganya. Let's see what we can find about that. Open Google again. Ancient underwater city, India. Is that Indraprastha? Indraprastha. If you guys hear something, that's a helicopter going outside my window. Ancient underwater cities, 10,000 years old. BBC News. Cities believed to be older than ancient Harappan civilizations. Yeah, those are interesting. Harappan. And civilization. That even is probably older than India. That's there are other civilizations that are older as well. Like the Hittites, for instance. The Dvaraka giant underwater city found in India. See, Dvaraka. Yeah, so this one is that from India? See? Let's see if we can paste that in the chat. No, let's copy this. Let's see. How we get this? I don't know if you guys can see this. Probably you can. Copy this. Paste that in the chat. Where are we? Where's the chat? Where did the chat go? Here. Here's the chat. Oh, that's with the S. Damn it. Remove the S, guys, and you should be able to get that link. Let's see. Remove the S. There we go. There's some pictures of underwater cities. Now, why is that underwater? Because maybe also during, but especially before the Ice Age ended, the water level was lower, you see, and according to the Bible we had these floods, and yeah, that's probably what happened, and the water level rised, right? So that's why these cities are underwater, because they were built in a time when the water level was not as high, you see. Dvarta, yeah, Dvarta city, wasn't it, Ganja? Let's see, what is this ancient mythology about Krishna and Dvarapa? Dvarapa, is that so? Krishna, Dvarapa, Dvarka, Dvaipayana? Not exactly sure. Dvarka? Dwarka-temple? Dwarka, India, 12,000-year-old city. Yeah, it's Dwarka, and that's underwater. Yeah? 12,000-year-old city of Lord Krishna. Alright? So, who is Krishna? Krishna is born in a jail. Did you guys know that? There was this rishi, and he apparently knew about the future. That's what you get in these mythological stories. You get these fortune tellers, right? Yeah. And this rishi, they were living under in a kingdom back then. I don't remember this king's name, but this is a mythological story, guys. Keep that in mind. Alright? And this rishi came up to the king and said, your rule is so crude and bad for the people, and you're going to be punished by an incarnation. And I don't know why he's telling this king this, because it doesn't make any sense to tell him, right? If you want to do good for the people, you would keep that information secret, right? But no, he goes to the king and he says, you're going to be killed by Krishna, and he will be born from this and this family. And so the king, being smart as he is, he puts the family in jail, right? But there you can see that it's a mythological story, and that it really is not talking about real parents, but something else. Because what happens is, he puts these parents in a jail, but he puts them together, so they can still create offspring that is going to kill him. Now, if you're any smart king, you would separate them and not let them be born, right? So that's how you can see you are not supposed to take this literally. Alright? So, these two parents, they are put in jail. And unfortunately, this story is told to children as well in India. And I think it's disgusting. Because what happens is, every time a child is born, the king goes to the jail and smashes the babies against the wall. Right? Is that kind of a story you tell to children? Is that normal or something? What are you trying to do? You're trying to traumatize these children? It's ridiculous, isn't it? But that's how the story goes. The first 6 children are smashed against the wall. Now, when you hear this story as a child, you don't get that they're not talking about real children there. This is symbolic for something else. Alright? So, when Krishna and Rama are born, they are both deities. They are both emanations of Vishnu. Complete emanations, I might add. They have all the properties that Vishnu has. And when they are born together in about the same time. And Rama, when he's born, he turns into a flame and escapes the jail that way. And Krishna, when he's born, all of a sudden all the guards fall asleep. Magically the jail doors open, and the father is made possible to walk out with his son before he gets killed by the king again, of course. Cross the Ganga River, protected by snakes. Yeah? Snakes are Snakes are symbols of wisdom, or intelligence, knowledge, alright? So he crosses the Ganga River, who magically opens for him, like in the Bible story, alright? And he delivers Krishna and Vrindavana, a village there. And he presents this son to foster parents. And then he grows up in Vrindavana, where he performs all kinds of magical things, like killing a witch by sucking on its breast. You see? So, yeah. Those are mythological stories. Do not ever take them literally. Krishna is a symbol of the sun. That's for sure. It's like Christ is a symbol of the sun. That's why they sound alike. Krishna and Christ, although Christos is from Greece and means oil. So I don't know how that got confused. But, yeah, words have more than one meaning, right? Like the word liber, book, and free. You see, so words can have different meanings, the same words. Alright. So, Krishna is a well-known figure nowadays because of the ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness Movement. It's the same New Age garbage that you get from the Christ Consciousness Movement that also exists. It's a spin-off of the Krishna Consciousness Movement. It's New Age garbage. That's what they would love for you to do, people. Get tied up in these religious rubbish. All right. Huh. Is that from Psalm? Happy shall he be that taketh and dashed thy little ones against the rock. Yeah, see, that is, you shouldn't take that literal. The rock is probably the sun, but I'm not sure about this. Why do I say that it's probably the sun? Because rocks were used to point at the sun, right? So don't confuse the finger that points at the moon with the moon, remember? Yeah. So rock probably stands for sun. You hold up your children to the sun, you see? Yeah. Yeah. Rock is an interesting topic. It's also symbolic for sexual organ, which ties to regeneration, which also ties to the sun. Without the sun, there is no regeneration. The sun's rays hit the earth, you see, that's regenerative. Alright, it impregnates the earth, you see. That's why the rock and obelisk tie to regenerative stuff. You see? Yeah, these things tie together, but don't get tied up in it. Now take from it what you can, but don't become a New Age nutcase. All right. Hey there. Hi there. Just typing something in Skype, people. Please excuse me. Apala. Alright, let's see what we can do here. I think it should be no. I'll call you. Let's see how we do that. I think via this. There. Yeah, that works. Yeah. Hi, are you there?
Hello, how are you, man?
Hey, I'm fine.
Long time no talk to. Good to talk to you.
Oh, it's Dave from Massachusetts.
Montana.
Oh, Montana.
Up by Canada, up in the corner.
I'm sorry, I got you confused.
No problem, bro. Good to talk to you.
Hey, how you doing?
Great, man. It's the thaw out up here a little early this year, so there'll probably be floods downstream.
What up here? Fallout?
Fallout. You know, the ice all melting out, the snow melting out of the big mountains. Got big. I live up by the Continental Divide, and if the mountains drain too fast, big floods happen all over the place.
Uh-huh.
And they're emptying fast. The whitewater people love it, man. The rafters and the kayakers and all of that. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was thinking about, you know, I think we're living in a time comparable when they had Galileo locked up for 30 years and they were lying their ass off.
Yeah.
And we're in the modern day of that 50-year period or whatever where they had them locked up in the cage or up in the tower and just shut them up. And if anybody ever talked about the earth going around the sun, they take you away and throw you in a dungeon somewhere.
Yeah.
And we know they're lying. They're lying about everything, man. And we go along with it, man, because of the buying and selling. And then you look at the end game, that's their master little plan is to give us some kind of mark so we can't buy and sell.
Yeah.
So they're kind of showing their cards saying, hey, we control you by buying and selling, man.
Uh-huh.
And so that's our weapon. We take that away from them, man.
Yeah, they talk about that in the Bible, right?
Yeah, at the last book there, you know, the mark of the beast. You won't be able to sell and buy, you know. And it's almost that way now. Everybody got a little debit card, you know, and it's supposed to make things faster, but they got to pass it back and forth a couple of times. They got to get a password. They got to sign it, then pass it. I tell them they should just get their own little line or something. But anyway, the market, you know, buying and selling is our downfall, I think, in humanity. Once we could get rid of the buying and selling, man, I think that's when we could really expand as what potential we have as human beings and this planet.
Are you thinking more that we should trade goods then? Like I trade my gems for your bread or something, or what? I
don't know. It's more of a, as the earth gives freely, so shall we.
Yeah.
And you know, the earth gives freely through our effort. You know,
correct.
And that effort is a good way to be healthy, kind of.
Uh-huh.
You know, and that aspect, not as a gain, as like the greed thing, you know?
Yeah, you're correct. Like I have strawberries in my garden, and if I take care of them, you know, they will produce fruit.
Right. And you know, and we just still have to get, stuff out of the ground, you know? You know, it's just a whole new way of looking at living on this planet.
Yeah.
That life is not for sale.
Yeah, good one, yeah. Yeah, I think we might have lived like that in the past, but then we were driven into cities and the trade came about. Or the trade came about and we went living into cities. Alright? Because we didn't live in cities all of the time, as far as I can tell. Alright?
Yeah, the cities is the downfall of humanity, I think. That's where we took a wrong turn and thought that civilization is greater than Earth.
Uh-huh.
And somehow we got to turn civilization back to Earth. And, and that's the big battle.
Uh-huh.
They think they're gods, like Constantine, you know. He thought he was damn God.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think I get your point. But I don't want to go back to like a hunter-gatherer way of living, though. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole, you know, the whole way they got it set up right now with the banking system is a total, voluntarily, what do they call it? Indentured servitude, you know, thinking they're going to get ahead by getting a loan, you know. Look at the USA. We're the greatest debtor nation, and our greatest export is garbage. And what do? We get a loan, and then we loan it out to other countries. How insane is that?
Yeah, that's strange, right? Economics.
Yeah, and then we call ourselves the economic, power of the world.
Yeah.
Only because everybody loaned us all the money. Crazy.
Yeah, I've wondered about that. This so-called debt that the United States has. You see sometimes articles that, well, we owe so much money, right? And then I'm asking, to who? Well, to the bankers, right? And so, but if the bankers ever want to get their money back, they're gonna have to keep this system going, you see?
Yeah, or bomb countries into taking the bank, and I think that's what they're doing right now. If you don't take the bank, you get bombed.
You get what?
Bombed. Bombed. If you don't take the bank, the bombs come and falls on your country until you take the bank. Every country we're at war with doesn't do banking the way we.
Yeah.
Fractional reserve bombing,
Yeah.
It's the same stuff is going on over there in Crimea. We were outbidded, that's all. Crimea was for sale.
What's that?
Crimea? Right. Crimea was for sale. We know voting.
But what is it? What is Crimea?
That country that they're fighting over there in the Black Sea.
Oh, I've never heard of that country. I'm sorry.
Well, it's part of Ukraine, but really Crimea has been fought over for a long time. It's the only warm water port there, and if you control Crimea, you control the Black Sea. It's like a big toll booth over there. And Crimea was for sale. They said they voted, but we all know votes are sold and bought. And Putin outbid the United States for Crimea, and USA can't handle it, man. That's what's going on over there, and they want to sell their oil all year round out of Crimea for rubles. And they're telling USA, hey, you take your money and we don't want it, man. We want to sell our own damn oil for our own damn money.
Yeah.
And that's what's going on over there.
But then Putin is using the same kind of system that we are, is he not? I mean, it's buying and selling also, right?
Oh yeah, they're heavy duty on the plastic money over there, for sure.
Yeah. So it's worldwide, correct? It's not only the United States and the Western world. It includes China and so on, right?
To get their one world order, they need one world bank first.
Yeah. Well, we got a World Bank.
The IMF, and who did Putin throw out first? The IMF.
He did? Interesting. I didn't know that. Huh. Yeah, and then we have the Bank of International Settlements as well, which is also a tool for this one world government, right?
Yeah. Oh, all the tools, the eco people, they're a tool, they're going to control us through the carbon, through all the industry. And then you got the religious people trying to control you. Then it's, what else? The plastic money and the digital crap, all this digital, and the transhumanization and geoengineering combined to totally control us,
Yeah, those are the three main pillars. You mentioned just two of them, economics and religion, and the third one is politics. And they are basically three main pillars with which we are controlled. Yeah. Would you agree?
Oh yeah. They work very well.
So are you religious at all?
I'm spiritual.
Okay.
I don't. Religious is man-made. I don't want nothing to do with religion, really.
Yeah. But spiritual, what do you understand with that? What do you mean, spiritual?
It's like namaste, you know, I understand that there is a divinity in all.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Know,
and it's a respectable
divinity. But and it's not, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
But it's not tied to one specific god like Jehovah or Krishna or something, right?
It can't be really, because it's in all of us. Right? So you can't really you can't really pinpoint it. Mm-hmm. They've been trying to do that for thousands of years, right? But we know it's about how we treat one another. And it's and how we help one another.
Yeah. Yeah, spiritual. I don't like the term. I mean, I don't like the word. Let me put it this way. Because spirit is from Greece or Latin, and it means to breathe. So
isn't conspiracy breathing together?
Yeah, but so spirit is breathe, and if you don't breathe, you die. So spirit is life, right?
Right, so we're all in conspiracy. We breathe together, man.
Yeah. Yeah, people are glad to hear you on the radio, dude.
This is my second week off in a row, every day, right in a row, for 2 weeks off in 19 years. I kind of got quit my job I had for the past 8 years. And
ouch.
I'm waiting for the concrete season to start up.
You gonna get a job?
Yeah. Oh
good, good.
There'll be plenty of concrete work. And I had some money saved up. And I know that the crash is gonna come because I got some little money saved up, and Murphy's Law always follows me. You know Murphy's Law?
Yeah.
It always follows me, so I know the crash should be pretty close right now. So the money I got is only going to be like 10 cents or something.
Yeah, that's where I got the problem. That's why I mentioned it a while ago about this big debt, right? If the banks want to get their money back, they can't let it crash, you see?
Right.
So I don't believe that there's a crash coming.
Peak oil, you know, the whole oil-based money is where they got us because everybody loves driving their car, you know.
Yeah.
And they'll sell out to drive the car in a heartbeat because you got to go to work, you got to get the family around, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, this oil industry got fangs and claws that's into us so deep, there's no way out, or it's like a gun against our head, you know?
Yeah.
The oil gun.
Yeah, I understand, but still, I don't believe we should get rid of our cars. I think we should use them. You know,
well, we could use them as a weapon against the oil tyrancy. You know, they run everything. They're all into the pharma. They're all subsidiaries of each other, you know, different names. If we're going to be addicted to oil, right, they're laying pipelines down that last for the next 200 years. They're not planning to get off oil. And they're willing, I think, to start a world war to knock us far enough back into the Stone Age to where they could still keep power by providing the oil. And they fund both sides of the war all the time. We know that. So, I don't know. And then all these guys getting killed on that plane that had the technology to give the oil company a good punch in the face and break free from it a little bit, they're all gone now. Kind of fun. Yeah, we don't spend trillions and start wars to lay pipelines for nothing. That's what I say.
Yeah, exactly. That's also a reason why I think this crash is not coming. Because they're keeping on this progress, building pipelines here and there, and trying to get other forms of energy up, you know.
Yes.
So.
Oh, debt. If you're in debt, you're controlled, man. That's why our debt is so much. But
Yeah.
I don't understand. We're the greatest debtor nation with the biggest gun. So what's that sound like? A thief to me.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. So, but I don't think that we should allow these people to get us out of our cars or get us to stop using so much energy, because as far as I can see, the Earth gives enough for us to be able to do this, right? We have the technology to make it better, so we should not let us get thrown back into the Stone Age where we have to walk 30 miles to get bread or something.
Well, not the Stone Age, just far enough back to where we gotta still burn the oil.
Uh-huh.
You know, they have all kinds of ways to make the engine better, but they're not giving it, you know.
But is there something...
You only could buy a car that goes 40 miles to the gallon here in the USA. I heard they got some better ones over there in
Europe, yeah, that's correct.
Europe, like 80 miles to the gallon or something.
Yeah, and that's on purpose that they're not letting you have those cars in the United States. And you know why this is? Because the states, they tax the gas that is being sold, and if the cars run twice as far on the same gas, they get less taxes, you see? That's why that happens.
I found out that Subaru has a diesel engine that they're in their cars that get something like 90 miles to the gallon, and they only sell them in Europe.
Uh-huh, yeah. But do you think there's anything wrong with burning the oil?
If there's technology that gets us off the control of the oil, I like combustion.
Yeah.
I like the combustion engine. I don't like the control they have.
Yeah, I understand that. But
they own the governments. They own the banks. They own.
That's true, but
like alcohol prohibition wasn't nothing about getting drunk. It was all about taking the energy away from the farmer.
Uh-huh.
To control the farmer. You control the farmer, you control everything.
Yeah.
And all the farmers are owned by the oil companies and Monsanto now.
Yeah, Monsanto is a big enemy. But anyway, Dave, when you're talking about oil, you're talking about energy companies, right? And as far as I can see, they're playing together. And what happens is that they also finance the research that is going on into windmills and to catching the sunlight for energy and so on and so on. So they've got a hold of that market as well. You see, there's no getting away from them in that sense. You see?
That's where the buying and selling comes in.
Yeah. So, but it doesn't matter if
that's how we get them. We got a big boycott. Always works, man.
That's true.
Massive boycott.
That's true. We have the power. If we say no more, then they're gone.
Right.
Absolutely.
And that's by helping one another in transportation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the unity has to come back for independence, to break free from this monster that got us by the neck.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Yes. We should help each other more than we are fighting each other, you know. But now we're fighting each other over job and position.
Whose money we're going to use in the world is what we're going to be fighting over.
That too, yeah.
The BRICS ain't nothing. I think Putin is standing up to show, to gain solidarity amongst the BRICS.
You think so?
Yeah, because China is, saying, hey, we're going to buy your oil in rubles and you could buy our stuff in yuan or whatever. They're joining. They're 2/3 of the world's population. Once they get united and organized, there ain't no stopping them.
Yeah, this reminds me of 1984, where you have Eurasia and fighting a war, you know?
Yeah, Brazil is a big part, you know, it's Russia, Brazil, India.
Yeah, they're forming
China,
up blocks. Yeah, they've got
and
these...
South Africa.
Yeah, that's correct. They've got these economic blocks that they are creating. But I don't think they are really fighting each other. I think they just are...
Well, the money argument always happens before the fight, don't it?
Yeah, it is, but it's like in 1984, where there's a perpetual war going on, you see? And this perpetual war is what keeps killing us, you know? And Putin is working with that, not against it.
Oil makes the most money out of wars. They fund both sides.
Yeah, they fund both sides, like you see in the history, it happened a lot of times, you see? So I'm thinking that that's happening in this case too. You've got Putin on one side, United States on the other side, but really they're close friends, you know? I don't believe they are real enemies. That's why the Cold War never got hot.
They're all related, right? Through the monarchy.
I'm not sure about that, but they're related in some way, be it economic or family-wise. But I think they are friends, Putin and Obama. Yeah.
Okay. KGB and CIA, you know.
Exactly. Putin was head of the KGB.
Yeah, we all know the Praetorian Guard really runs the show.
Right,
they take out the emperor whenever they want.
Why should we trust a former head of the KGB, you know? Doesn't make any sense, does it? I think he's just playing along with this game to keep us all under control.
Oh yeah, hold the war gun to everybody. Oh, war.
Yeah.
My whole elementary school existence was waiting for the atom bombs to fall, you know?
Exactly. That was the fear-mongering that was going on. But it never happened because it wasn't supposed to happen.
Then they come up with Vietnam, you know, and offer 58,000 lives on the altar.
Yeah.
For nothing, on a lie.
Yeah.
And then we're getting the same lies and we're getting the same sacrifice all right in front of our face.
Yep.
For the money. War is money.
Yep.
USA, the world worships money, so war is always going to be with us, I guess.
Yeah. I think you got a good point there. Yeah. So I hear you make drums, is that correct?
Yeah, I just made 2 nice buffalo medicine drums. I got a buffalo hide the other month, about a month ago.
Awesome.
Yeah. I live right next to the National Bison Range. There's like 6,000 head, big ass herd of buffalo, and every year they cull them out, and you could go buy a hide right off the buffalo for about $150.
Oh.
Then just get it raw hide for, you know, like another 100.
Yeah, because somebody who's in my Skype list says that you make drums for her students on the Indian Reserve and mail them to you in Canada. Is that correct?
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome, buddy. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. The stories that I used to read in books as a child about Indians, they really appeal to me. The ancient...
The drum is like the heartbeat, man, you know?
Yeah.
Good vibes. It's all about vibrations, right? Everything's moving. And you gotta be still in the movement. Learn how to be still while moving.
Oh. That sounds, spiritual. Yeah. Be still in the movement. Interesting. Yeah. it reminds me of descriptions that I've read from what a living being is in ancient Indian philosophy, mythology. And they also claim that the soul, as they call it, right? It's immovable. It doesn't move. So that's rather strange, isn't it?
Right. Just like the word soul and spirit, it could be all different. A lot of people get that all confused.
Yeah, that's because they're kind of vague terms. We don't have real good definitions for them.
Yeah.
At least not ones that are acceptable when using your brain.
And anything spiritual to the physical is just foolishness too,
Huh. You think spirit and physic are two opposites or something?
Well, intangible and tangible, right?
Ah, yeah. Well, intangible means like non-material then.
Can't touch it. Right?
Yeah. There's no way of getting there with your five senses. Is that more or less it?
Right.
Spiritual is not sensible, so to speak?
Development of the sixth sense. Or the alternate reality.
Yeah. Jessica is in the chat also. She says, yes, the soul is indestructible, yet we die here in this body, but the soul doesn't. Right? That's indeed the idea you get from ancient Indian mythology also. They talk about soul. But as you and I just pointed out, you cannot see the soul. You cannot smell the soul. You cannot touch the soul. So
You're the vessel. You're the vessel. You hold it.
That's the body, yeah.
You house it.
Yeah.
And I kind of see life, the heat of life, like we burn at almost 100 degrees. The heat of life is like the kiln that produces the vessel that could hold the spirit, and we're here in this life under the heat of life, and we got to learn not to crack under the heat. And if we could not crack under this heat, that's the heat meaning like, the woes of life and all, the suffering and the badness. And if we could keep that love alive right to the end, then we have that vessel that could hold that spirit or whatever, because we don't really know, and go on or whatever.
Yeah. So, but you're talking about the vessel and that which is in the vessel.
The vessel is us. Yeah.
Are you sure about that? How can you be a vessel? You're not your car, right?
It's like
you own the car. Sorry?
We're not, the earth and sky owns us. We don't really own ourselves, right?
Oh, like that.
We don't really own ourselves. The earth owns us. And that's funny because in buying and selling, we think we could buy and sell the earth and sky.
Yeah, I get your point.
And that's our downfall. That's when we turn our back from earth.
Yeah, you make that very clear, Dave. Awesome point. Yeah. Yeah, I'm taking things too literally sometimes. When you talk about vessel, for instance, that's like body, right?
Right. I'm talking about our body, mind, and mind, and it's physical. I'm talking about the physical existence of us.
Yeah. But
and being exposed to what's around us in this evil world, when we know it could be so much better, because we know what love is and how we treat people that we're in love with. And why can't that be everywhere? It's kind of weird, really.
Somebody's accusing you of being a commie shill.
oh yeah, I'm a commie.
Oh,
Jesus,
really?
Yeah, Jesus was the first commie. That's another word they use to get us at each other's throat and everything, and want to kill because the commie is so bad, and you know.
Did you ever read any of Marx's stuff?
Well, they twisted, just like Constantine twisted Jesus into this religion that's called Christianity. You know, Jesus.
That's true. Yeah, that's
true. You know,
true.
it's the same thing, man. I think Jesus was the first commie, man. He said, if you don't give somebody a drink or a coat when they're cold, he says, if you don't do that to the least of you, you don't do that to me. You know, if most of these people that say they're all spiritual and, you know, or, and then he placed the temple in us, the vessel. Yeah. You know what I mean? And they didn't like that either. You know, it's supposed to be a building and only a certain class could approach it. You know, and they only got to have permission from the king. And he said, well, you could take your king and shove it because I'm the last king. I'm the last priest. I'm the last sacrifice. So all you bastards that are ripping us off through that kind of bullshit, BS, is no good. And they didn't like him. They killed his ass, man. They didn't like him being around. He was saying too much truth. He was given freedom from the religion and the government combined together.
Yeah, I totally agree with you there.
And then Constantine seen the power in this, man, and he says, well, everybody kind of believes the same thing. We can meld them all together and, you know, get it all together, burn everything else, hunt down the people that know the truth, kill them, and then we could control everything and everybody will get along. Until Galileo said, hey, you're lying to us, man.
But I don't think you're a communist, though. I mean, I've read some of Marx's stuff and the Communist Manifesto.
I'm more communist than the communists. I'm more capitalistic than the capitalists. I'm more conservative than the conservatives. And I'm more liberal than the liberals.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. That's contradicting each other.
No, that's why I don't get I think all Republicans and Democrats should be rounded up, man.
No, but seriously, I think as far as I've known you from the chat and so, you're much too freedom-minded to be a communist. You know?
Where does the word come from? Commune.
Well, I'm thinking more Karl Marx.
We're living in communities. We're living in communities. Communication.
Yeah, okay.
Communication is the greatest thing that the humans know how to do.
Yeah, you know? I understand that.
And I don't put that word down. And I'm a commune. I'm a communicator. I'm a person that thinks the world could be a family. So,
But you've never read anything of Karl Marx, have you? Is that true or not?
High school, I haven't read the book from one end to the other, no.
Okay, that's right.
You know, and real communism could never be attained. If you read about communism, it's all a step kind of deal. You know, like they're going after an ideal. It's like a religion. Same thing. Going after heaven, you know. And the true communists or the true capitalism or the true socialists, they all got the end plan, like everything's gonna be nice and this is the way it's gonna be, but we gotta kill people to get there, you know, because God told us. And it's to the point where if they're calling you a communist or if they're calling you a capitalist, they're part of the problem, man. They're hypnotized. They're under the brainwash. They're under the chains that are keeping humanity back.
Yeah. Desert makes a comment in the chat here. He says the word evil sounds to him like a man-made concept. And I would have to agree. You not only get the word devil from that also. Devil, evil, you see. And in Dutch it's the same. We have the word oval, which sounds like evil. They are etymologically tied. And oval means just something bad. You know? And we also have the word duivel, sounds like devil, right? So those words are connected. But they're man-made. Would you agree?
Oh, for sure, right? Language is man-made. We came up with it.
Well, yeah,
and they
there, but
well, what did Rome do, man? They, that's what English kind of is all the Roman Empire languages kind of mixed up into one,
Uh-huh. Would they say we still live in Roman times, right?
Well, they, the Vatican's still standing, they hid the empire in the Vatican a long time ago. And who's got the biggest bank? And who's got the biggest stash of stuff that's keeping all the lies going underneath? They say they're keeping everything under the Vatican basement or something.
Yeah, they still get a lot of money from people that go to church and just give money for nothing, right?
Oh yeah, all of them, man. Yeah, if all the religions kind of grouped up and practice what they preach, they could take care of all the world's woes, huh? They're pretty rich, all of them.
Yeah. All right. We've got about 8 minutes left, Dave. If there's anything else you want to bring up, do so.
I was just yapping with you, man. I'm sorry to waste all your time.
No, it's not a waste. It's fantastic.
It was good to talk to you, man. It's been a while. And like I was saying, I'm off now, so I get to listen to the radio or the computer in times that I never could have before because I was working. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's good to have you back, dude.
Salute, man. You have a great day. Good talking to you.
All right, Dave. Thanks a lot for the call, buddy. Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, let's see. There. Yeah. So that was awesome. It's always good to hear Dave talk, isn't it? Yeah, so, let's see. He went off pretty quick. I thought he would have one last thing to say or something, but no. Listen, guys, I've been trying to get other people on the radio as well, like Jack Blood. Communication seems to have broken down. I've written to Alex Ansary also. I like his attitude. I'm gonna need to wait for a response. And I've also trying to get on somebody you don't like very much. But I'm gonna get him on anyway, because I don't care who you like or don't like. So that's what's his name again? I need to check my contact persons here. Bob Toscan. I've been trying to get him on, and we should be able to, but also there the communication seems to have broken down into nothingness. And I don't feel like starting it up again, because I'm the one that started it, and then don't get a response, and then if I come back again, I do that for a second time, usually. And then, still the communication doesn't jive. I feel like I'm nagging them. So I stop it. Another person I've been trying to get on is Richard Greer. No, not Richard Greer. A Richard, though, from Tragedy and Hope website. He's too busy at the moment. At least the communication hasn't broken down there. But he's too busy at the moment, so I won't be able to get him on. So 3 of them, as far as I know. 3, 1, 2. At least a couple of them. I'm trying to get on to talk about the Trivium. Because that needs to be addressed, needs to be talked about a little more. And, that's an ad hominem mayor. Yeah. So, that's... I really don't care about those ad hominems. They slide by me like water, so. But it's the trivium, and I've read an article lately on tragedy and hope, and I was wondering, how is this? Am I understanding something wrong, or are all these people not getting it, so to speak? Because I've read this article and I didn't like the article, and I pasted some comments and questions. Nobody of any of the commenters responded to my question or comments. They all seem to live in their own world and making their own comments. And the point was that they said that the trivium is being used as a weapon. And you're not supposed to do that, apparently. Alright? So I'm like, excuse me? What use is the trivium if it's not a weapon? You know? You can use it to get rid of the contradictions that are being put in front of you. Right? So, it is a weapon, kinda like a shield and a dagger. You know, you use the dagger or the sword to pierce through the logical fallacies and the contradictions that are being put before you. So if we can't use it as a weapon, then what use is it at all? I'm wondering. So I pasted that also in, if I typed that also in my comment, like, are we not supposed to use this as a weapon? You know, it's, in the article, you get the idea that the writer wants you to go sit at home and contemplate your own ideas only to get rid of the contradictions. Okay, so that's not how it should work, in my opinion. It should be used against the mainstream media as a weapon. You see, it's a weapon for your mind, because it has been used in the past in a classical sense, as I understand it from other people anyway, to control us. Because how did they control us? By knowing how our minds work. And because we don't understand it, they get to rule us, you see? So still, Bob Toskin is enraging a lot of people here, I see. Well, that says more about you than it says about Bob Toskin, doesn't it? Yeah. So, yeah. Let's see. Got only 2 minutes left, so I guess this is goodbye, people. Thanks for joining me. Everybody in the chat, thanks for coming and talking. There are 3 anons. Welcome. Listener, what's up, listener? Vince, how you doing, buddy? SLC Mike, good to see you back, dude. Are you healthy again? Mayor, how you doing? Thanks for coming. Justy, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining the chat. And Joe and JJ, hey, buddy, what's up? I should get you on the radio sometime. You know, it's been a long time since we did that. I've still got one on my YouTube channel of you and me talking. That was awesome. You seem to be able to address topics that are not addressed enough, it seems. Then there's Jessica, Ganja Khan, Desert Hawk, Danby Cooper, and Danton EC. Thanks for coming, everybody. I'll see you guys next week. Take care. See you next time.
An inside job? How dare you? How dare you?
To create, so to say, mass-produced models of human beings arranged in some kind of a scientific cast